Good evening. I'm John Palmentary, and we're coming to you from Santa Barbara, California, and I'm taking off my COVID-19 mask for this very special broadcast here at the Carriage Museum in Santa Barbara for Fiesta Music and Dance Fridays. This is our Old Spanish Days feature here on the World Wide Web for you tonight, and we're going to have a great show for you with dancing, live music here, and more. We wish we could have you all here with us to dance on the dance floor, interact with our band, meet our spirit of Fiesta and all the dancers, but we can't do that this year, so you have to do it in your living room. Pour yourself a drink, get up, get ready to move and shake with us all, and enjoy it in the most virtual way you can. So we're going to get right to the show. We are so happy each year, for those of you just tuning in or just getting to know Old Spanish Days in Santa Barbara, which has been going on since the 1920s, we pick in this town a spirit and junior spirit of Fiesta. And we have with us tonight our Spirit of Fiesta, and she's going to be performing for you. And she comes to us from Lompoc, the North County of Santa Barbara County, and she has been dancing since she was probably 4 years old, and she is so ready to show you her moves tonight and to kick off this great spirit we have in Santa Barbara of community and of unity. So let's go to the dance floor, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go with the 2020 Spirit of Fiesta. Ladies and gentlemen, Alena Velasco.
Que me da cuando te miro, suspira mi alma prima y me harto de llorar. Es una bendición que yo le da a alguna persona que tengan tan bonito su mirar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alena Velasco, let me hear you scream. Let me hear you scream from home, because we can hear you. Let Alena hear you. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good, pretty good. Got a little studio audience here. Everybody's 6 feet away this year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're just kicking off this great night for you of music and dance. And one of the things about Old Spanish Day is each year they have a pin and a poster. We're going to be showing you those throughout the night. I've got the pin right here that I've been wearing on my mask earlier, and we have the poster as well, and they are for sale through Old Spanish Days. We also have a world-class photographer each year that takes these great photos of all of our dancers, all of our events, all of our performances, and puts them out for the world to see. And he's here with us tonight for a special presentation. So I'm going to bring up to the stage and to Alena the photographer Fritz Ohlenberger, who has volunteered his time. And I'm going to stick the mic out a little bit so we can hear him from my appropriate distance. And what have you got for us tonight?
Well, I have a picture of Elena Velasco, our spirit of Fiesta this year. And this was actually staged. As you know, we were unable to have the spirit auditions at the regular, well, we were unable to have them at all. But Elena very kindly agreed to meet me at the La Cumbra Junior High, where they usually have the auditions, and dance for me. And we had lighting. We didn't have sound. We didn't have an audience. But we had her in this gorgeous flamenco dress, and I appreciate you taking the time out to do that.
Very good. Well, Alena, this is for you, and this is just to kick off your wonderful year as our Spirit of Fiesta, Alena Velasco. And as I say, you are a great ambassador for Fiesta and for our entire county and for Old Spanish Days. You're going down in history, and we're so happy to have you. And she will be, in my eyes, the Queen of Fiesta. We have many stars, and she's going to be one of the brightest. So thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you in person and on all the video that we have as the days roll off. Well, normally we have a number of Fiesta activities prior to this in May and in June, but we couldn't do that this year. So these Fiesta Music and Dance Fridays came together here at the Carriage Museum, and we're going to be doing this every Friday night through Fiesta, and who knows, maybe a little bit beyond, because we have so much energy and spirit. So let's get on with it. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? This is an unusual year, isn't it? This is a year where we've had to pivot, make a lot of different moves, and go beyond our reaches. And if there's any way to kick off this show that goes beyond anything we ever see in Santa Barbara, it's sort of outer space-ish, if that's a word. And to do that, we had to go to points we've never gone to before, and you're going there with us. So pour yourself a drink, get out of that chair, start moving and grooving. The only way we're going to get to this out of this world, unbelievable Old Spanish Days Fiesta 2020 is to go to Area 51.
All right. This is your chance. First time in the whole pandemic. Take off your clothes if you like. Dance like there's no tomorrow. 'Cause she's a big house. She's mighty, mighty. Just letting it all hang out while she's a big house. With that lady stacked, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. Oh, she's a terrific house. When we're together, everybody knows this is how the story goes. She knows she's got everything that a woman needs to get a man. Hey, hey, how can she lose with the stuff she uses? 36, 24, 36. What a winning hand. She's a brick house. She's mighty, mighty. Just letting it all hang out while she's a brick house. Oh, with that lady stacked, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. Oh, she's a brick house. When we're together, everybody knows this is how the story goes. The clothes she wears, her sexy ways, makes this old man wish for the younger days again, yeah. She knows she's built, and she knows how to please me. She'll love to make the strong man to his knees, 'cause she's a big house. She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out while she's a brick house. Oh, with that lady stacked, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. Oh, she's a brick house. She the one, only one who feel like an Amazon. Well, said, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down out. Shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down. She's mighty, mighty, mighty. Just letting it all hang out. She's a big house. That lady stacked and that's a fact, but she ain't holding nothing back when you take it to Region on the saxophone, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out while she's a brick house. Oh, that lady stacked, that's a fact, ain't holding up the back. Oh, she's a brick house. She the one, only one, feel like an Amazon. Well, said, shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Shake it down, shake it down, shake it down now. Thank you so much.
Don't have to be beautiful to turn me on. Just use your body, baby, from dusk till dawn. Don't need experience to turn me on good. You just leave it all up to me. I'm gonna show you what it's all about. Don't have to be rich to be my girl. Don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm walking better in. Just want your ass sometime, Yes.
Got to not talk dirty, baby, if you won't impress me. Can't be too flirty, mama. I know how to undress me.
Yeah, I woke up in the dark race. Maybe you can be mine.
You can be mine.
You just leave it all up
To me, we can have a good time.
Yeah,
You don't have to be Women, not girls, rule my world. Said they rule my world. Actually, mama, shoes, not your shoe size. Maybe we can do the 12. You don't have to watch down the street to have an attitude, no. You just leave it all up to me. My love will be your food. Hey, you don't have to be rich to be my girl. Don't have to be true to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign of morning better go in. Just want your extra time, kiss. All right, y'all. I know it's been a long time. It's been a long time for us since we got together and played. And so we just want to make sure that you're getting oiled up, because if there's anybody still sitting on their couch, if there's anybody still sitting on their chair, if there's anybody still driving and listening on the air, we want you to pull over and just get out the car and start to dance. Yeah, that's right. It's like its own protest, you know. Let's just stop driving and dance right in the middle of the road, huh? And if you're in your house, see if there's anybody else you can dance with, safely, of course. Like the legend of the Phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force of love beginning. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and a glass of Jesus stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for the fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 Your present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna dance, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise a bar and a glass with those stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night to be fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get. We're up all night to get. We're up all night to get. We're up all night to get George. up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 Woo! Thank you. Change, change, change. 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 For 5 long years, yeah, I thought you were my man. But I found out, yeah, I'm just a link in your chain. You got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your fool. You treated me mean, oh, you treated me cruel. Hey, change, 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 ooh, yeah. Every chain has got a weak link. Well, I might be rude, child, but my love will give me straight. All right. You told me to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. Well, my doctor said, take it easy. Oh, but your loving is much too strong. I'm added to you. Change, change, change. 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 Change, ooh, yeah. George. Change, 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 ooh, yeah. Now listen, woke up this morning, That's Laura Schlesky singing to y'all. Give the girl some love. Come on, come on. We've been aching to be with you. We're so thankful for this opportunity. Vision, World Spanish Days Fiesta. Do you remember 21st night of September? Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the clouds away. Arms are ringing in the key that our souls are singing as we dance in the night. Remember how when you love us here to stay. Say that you remember, dancing in September, never was a cloudy day. Holding hands with your heart to see. Only blue talking love. Remember how will you ever see to stay? In December, found the love you shared in September. Only blue talking love. Remember, true love is today. Thank you so much, everybody. How you feeling? How you feeling tonight? Is it getting better? Okay, we're going to play this one for you, and we're going to take a quick break. You're going to need a little bit of food in between this for energy. Hey, Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, go, sister. Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, go, sister. My mama locked down in New Orleans, strutting that stuff on the street. She said, hello, hey, Joe, you want to give it a go? Gitchy, gitchy, ya, da, da. Gitchy, gitchy, ya, yeah. Mother chocolate, yeah. Pretty lady mama. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? That boy drank all the magnolia wine, and on the black satin sheets, so I swear it's done. Gitchy, gitchy, ya-ya-da-da. Gitchy, gitchy, ya-ya-ya. Mother chocolate, ya-ya. Grand lady mama. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Savage beast inside, roaring till he cried more, more, more. Now he's been going 95, living his great flag on life. When he turns off to sleep, old memories scream more, more, more. Gitchy, ya-ya-da-da-da. Gitchy, ya-ya. Avec moi ce soir, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? All right, thank you very much, everybody. We're Area 51, and we're going to take a quick break and be right back with all the dance songs.
Gentlemen, that's Area 51, one of our biggest and brightest bands for old Spanish days, and we're so happy to have them here at the Carriage Museum in Santa Barbara, California, as we have our Fiesta Music and Dance Fridays that'll be continuing through Old Spanish Days this year from August 5th through August 9th. And certainly we can tell you it's going to be one unusual and hybrid Old Spanish Days, and we're so happy to keep creating different ways to present this great music, great dancing, and great honors that we do for Old Spanish Days as we have celebrated since the 20s. Now, this year, we're not going to have the big parade and some of the festivities, and that's happened a few times in the past. But now with all this great technology, we can keep it rolling throughout the town, throughout the Central Coast, and throughout the world through the internet and the World Wide Web. All right, what do you say that we take a look at some special moments here? And for that, we're going to go to our El Presidente this year. And he's going to come back onto the center stage and present some honors this evening. And with that, I think he's going to provide his own microphone, doing everything with such great spacing. You going to do it out there in the courtyard? Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, our El Presidente for this year is Erik Davis. Give them a round of applause and give them a big scream from your home as well in your living room. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you,
Viva!
John. Viva la Fiesta. And thank you for emceeing tonight's event. We're continuing to work through some technical difficulties, but this is a highlight portion while the band takes a break. Each year, the president or la presidenta gets a chance to thank the special people that have helped them along the way. First and foremost for me is my wife, Angelique. Angelique, will you come up here?
Ole!
I love you. If I get through this segment, I'll be happy. So I have had the honor to choose 10 honorary Presidentes and Presidentas, and I am going to introduce them tonight. I'm going to ask them to come up, and I'll say a few words, and we have badges and a poster for them. So first, is my mom in the house? Mom?
Yeah, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Will you grab a badge?
Hopefully it says my name on it.
There should be one, and there should be one for Dad, too.
Okay, no, there isn't.
What?
Here, Wait a second, I got mine and I got, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, just stay there. We're still distancing,
Okay.
but I just want to say I love you.
I love you too. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lots of hard work.
My dad passed a few years ago, so this would mean a lot to him, too. So it's an honor, and thank you for being along for the ride here.
I'm here.
Watching at home are my in-laws, Bill Springer and Solange Springer, Angelique's parents, who we're going to make honorary Presidentes and Presidentas today. Bill would have turned 90 on Fiesta Friday. Will turn 90 on Fiesta Friday. So Bill, if you're watching at home, Solange, I love you too. And we have badges for you, which we'll send. There's a couple here that have been part of our Fiesta journey, and we'd like to say thank you. Jeff and Kathy, are you here? Will you come forward? Thank you. Grab a badge, grab a pen. Thank you. Yes. That's Jeff and Kathy. Viva la. Our Fiesta history goes way back. They've been a part of almost every Fiesta we've been a part of, and it's not just the fun times, but Jeff and Kathy have rolled up their sleeves, broken down the zoo, done a lot of the hard work, been super kind. Service Objects has not only been a sponsor of Old Spanish Days, but has volunteered many, many hours to help us bring this community festival forward. So, Honorary Presidente, Honorary Presidenta, thank you so much for all you've done for Fiesta.
Thank you.
There's a special person in the audience that I'd like to bring forward. Erin Graffi, are you? So you all know Erin. She's been a premier historian, been a part of Fiesta for a long, long time, and she's been very helpful along my way, and Jim's here as well, thank you. And Erin's been super supportive of our journey, and was instrumental in this year's theme. I remember when we had lunch, and we talked about bringing forward dance, and you just lit up and said, yes, that's it. There's so much you can do around dance, and we found that even during a pandemic. We could bring forward dance in a lot of ways. So thank you for being part of my journey through Fiesta, and I thank you for accepting, and viva la Fiesta. Nancy Callahan, are you here? Hi, Nancy. Thank you. Grab a pen and a badge, and we have one for Robin too. When we joined the board, Angelique and I, Nancy and Robin were a couple on the board who were incredibly supportive, hard workers who loved Fiesta. And I don't know if you recognize this, Nancy, but this is Robin's jacket that you gave me. Thank you. And last but not least, John Palmentary. Come forward. I don't know that anybody does more for Fiesta year in and year out. Nearly 40 years of covering this. Really the greatest ambassador of old Spanish days, Fiesta. When COVID hit, the first person I called, and he said, let's announce the poster and pin on live TV. So he went out of his way, and we went on live TV, and we've been selling the heck out of these posters and pins ever since. And it was a lot of that. Alena and Alexandra had their first dance on live TV, KYT too. So thanks, John, for all you do.
Glad to be on board.
Honorary Presidente. So I got through that. And thank you, everybody watching. Next up, we got a real special treat. Our spirit comes from the Garcia Dance Studio. You got to see her tonight. What an incredible dancer, talented young artist. And her studio is here to do a few dances for us while the band takes a quick break. And then we will be back with some live music. So give us just a second and we'll bring forward some dance for you. Thank you.
belleza, perlas y corales, que en el fondo de los mares, sorpresa vine a encontrar. Ay, guarda como un tesoro lo que tú sabes, ya sabes que cuando tú me lo pides, yo te lo daré.
Báilame, que te cante por alegría. Báilame, hasta que den la cara del día.
Canta, canta, tiriti tan tan claro, tiriti tan tan tan.
Brazos en el aire, tus tacones el tiempo.
Y tu mano en la esencia, ay, ay, de flamenco. Cuando repaso mi año, el tiempo, ¿dónde estará? ¿Dónde? Hay los minutos, la hora y los días, ¿cómo se van? ¿Cómo se van? Quisiera que volviera, como vuelve la primavera, y junto a tu ladito vivir lo que me queda.
Báilame, que te cante por alegría. Báilame, hasta que den la cara del día.
Clan, 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 tiriti, clan, 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 tiriti, clan, clan, clan.
Brazos en el aire, tus tacones el tiempo.
Y tu mano en la esencia, ay, de flamenco.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Garcia Dance Studio, and we are so happy to see our wonderful dancers perform this year, and they have been working so hard every year to perform at so many different venues, and obviously this is a different year, and they are here now to go on this great show we're doing, Fiesta Dance and Music Fridays, and we're so glad to have you along with us on this Friday night. Boy, these nights during the summer, it just starts to get us really kicked up. Even though we're in the 4th of July weekend, we're already looking forward to Old Spanish Days and whatever it's going to be this year from August 5th through the 9th. Have we already shown them the poster? Has the poster been on, Eric? Why don't you bring the poster over while we have a minute while we reset the band. Here comes El Presidente, and this is our beautiful poster. Maybe we can get a shot of it here. Just hold it up in front of the camera from right there. Keep your 6 feet.
Yeah, there's a good story here, John. You know,
Here, I'll put the mic out for you.
we, Angelique and I went to Spain last May, and we came back with some postcards and some ideas, and then we had met an artist called Andrew Leonard, and a shout out to Andrew Leonard. Go to the Facebook page and you'll see the interview we did with Andrew. And he went back and he started doing all this research at the Santa Barbara Historical Museum, and found a couple background tiles from 1940 or 50 travel brochures, and then weaved this all together. At one point early on, he must have had 100 concepts, and then it kind of evolved. We wanted to incorporate dance and, you know, some of the old-fashioned posters, so we were kind of hearkening back, and it's really been well received by this community. We're getting orders from all over the United States. I saw earlier this week Iowa and Hawaii, and people are picking up the poster and pins. So yeah, it's been a neat journey to have this too as part of our Fiesta 2020. And you can get it at sbfiesta.com or .org/shop. $15, $20 for a signed version if you want to do that. But yeah, please go ahead and support this organization by picking up a poster and pin this year.
It's got a beautiful picture of our dancers and the classic old mission in the background.
Yeah, the mission is just such a key element for Santa Barbara and for Old Spanish Days. And if you see here, they found an old photograph of the large flags that were hung at the mission in the early 40s or 50s. I'm not quite sure when it was. So when we saw that in the old kind of history research, we wanted to weave that back in too. So.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's our poster, the Old Spanish Days 2020 Fiesta. This will be one to remember. Certainly one of the more beautiful posters we've ever had. And I can tell you from anywhere you have one of those up, whether it's at home, in your office, at work, there's some businesses in town that put all the posters up. It gets people to stop dead in their tracks to take a look at it and reflect and think about Fiesta and what it means to Santa Barbara, what it means to the Central Coast, and the rich California history, the Spanish, Mexican, indigenous, ranchero, religious concepts all coming together for Old Spanish Days with the poster, the pin, the decorations, everything we wear, and the way we celebrate Old Spanish Days in Santa Barbara each year. And celebrate is what we're going to continue to do on this special Fiesta Dance and Music Fridays. And as I said earlier, this is going to be going on August 5th through 9th and maybe beyond. We'll see. Just stay tuned to the Facebook page. Is the band ready?
We're ready.
They did an awesome first set, and they've got some more great music. For those of you watching at home, loosen up. Get out of the chair. Pour yourself a drink. Dance like nobody's watching you, and maybe nobody is watching you. But we've got a studio audience here at the Carriage Museum in Santa Barbara, California, and we are coming to you from points unknown with Area 51.
That's the way it was. Happened so naturally. I did not know it was love. The next thing I felt was you holding me close. Now we're flying through the stars. I hope this night will last forever. It's been so long. Someone, now we're flying through the stars. I hope this night will last forever. Oh, 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 ain't nobody loves me better, makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better. Wait for nighttime to come, bring you to me. Can't believe I'm the one. I was so lonely, like I know what I feel. Must be dreaming. I want this dream to be real. I need this feeling. Now we're rich upon the sun. I hope this night will last forever. Oh, 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 oh. Ain't nobody loves me better,
gentlemen, right now, I know what you need. You need to throw off everything that's happened to us. Just let it rise up out of your body as we dance right now. Hey, baby, babe, let's get together. Honey, hon, me and you, and do the things, oh, do the things that we like to do. Oh, do a little dance, make a little love. Get down tonight, get down tonight. Do a little dance, make a little love. Get down tonight, baby. That's George Friedenthal singing to y'all. Treasure in Santa Barbara. One of our favorites. Uh-oh. Vintage disco on your way.
Don't leave me this way.
Schlesky singing to y'all. Give the girl some love.
Thank you.
All right, so we're coming down to it. We have been so absolutely blessed. Thank you for Old Spanish Days having the vision and the foresight and the generosity to let this happen and produce this whole show for you people and for us to get together and have a chance to play. We could not be more thankful. All right, so we're going to do one more for you, and this is from a modern artist, not from the 70s. Yeah, I think you'll know it, though.
Hold, please.
It's on the list. We actually know this song, I think.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been about since February, since we've even seen each other. Yeah, that was our last gig together. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you for asking. Are we here?
Yep.
All right, dance your pants off. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Viva la fiesta! Give me your attention, baby. Wanna tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, who you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna be somewhere else. Whoa, oh girl, I'm gonna show you that you're fine, so fine, fine, so fine. Whoa, oh girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh mine, mine, oh mine. Treasure, that is what you are. Honey, you're my golden star. You can make my wish come true when you let me treasure you. If you let me treasure you. Girl, you should smile at me. A girl like you should never look so blue. You're everything I see in my dreams. I wouldn't say that to you if it wasn't true. Oh, girl, I'm gonna show you that you're fine, so fine, fine, so fine. Oh, girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh mine, mine, oh mine. Treasure, that is what you are. Honey, you're my golden star. You can make my wish come true if you let me treasure you. If you let me treasure you. Take it down now. Like I said, people, we miss you and we love you. And everybody on this stage has devoted pretty much their whole entire life to your dancing pleasure and to your listening pleasures. I want to introduce to you Mr. George Friedenthal on the keyboard, one of Santa Barbara's most valued players. Next to him is Dana Olson on the lead guitar, rhythm guitars. Farmer by day. Larry Purpley on the drums. Give the man some love. Come on. Ain't nothing without the backbeat. The one and only irreplaceable Michael Lomas on the bass. David Telegian on the saxophone. Give the man some love. Mr. Steve Stassi on the trumpet. We are blessed with the golden vocal cords of Miss Laura Schlesky. Give the girl some love. I'm Michael Andrews, and I got a message for you. Through the lens of these cameras right now, I'm coming to you. I said, let me treasure you all night, baby. Let me tell you. Let me treasure you all night, honey. 'Cause you are my treasure. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. Say you are my treasure. You are my, oh baby. so much, Old Spanish Days, Fiesta. Thank you, Santa Barbara. We're Area 51. We love you. Good night.
Area 51, ladies and gentlemen, from the Carriage Museum in Santa Barbara, California, on Fiesta Dance and Music Fridays. That'll be continuing all through Old Spanish Days. And we want to thank everyone who put this show together, and especially starting from El Presidente Erik Davis. What a great show this has been. Thank you. And Angelique Davis and all our honorary El Presidentes. I'm so honored to be one of them tonight, and we're going to be wearing our little badges very proudly. For those of you who are looking for the pin or the poster, go to the Old Spanish Days website. They are just a tremendous collector's item for this very unusual 2020 Old Spanish Days Fiesta in Santa Barbara, California. We're going to make it so special from now through Old Spanish Days, August 5th through 9th. Well, you know, we're on the World Wide Web, and we get a lot of comments. I mean, the whole world is commenting, and they're saying, where did this band come from? They're out of this world. So this band is available for private parties, nonprofit organizations. When all this is over, we're going to get back to normal. They are ready to go. They last played in mid-March. This is their first real spectacular show and a spectacle since then, and we are so happy to have them. If this was the real Old Spanish Days, they'd be performing quite a bit and be on the schedule for our earlier events and certainly during the event in August. But they're here tonight. They're available for you, and right now they're available for the whole world. They're going to do an encore. That's right. Well, you know, the audience is calling for it worldwide.
Do one more then. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Let's get back and say so long from Santa Barbara, California. Let's go out of this world to Area 51.
Michelle fight for that white coat. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpiece. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. I got Chuck's on with St. Laurent. I gotta kiss myself, it's so pretty. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And I'm bad about that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Woo. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Woo. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Woo. 'Cause Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. Saturday night we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Ha! Don't believe me, just watch. Ha! Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we're gonna show out. Smoother than a fresh John Skippy. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon want to retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And I'm bad about that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Woo. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Woo. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Woo. 'Cause Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gonna give it to you. Saturday night we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Ha! Don't believe me, just watch. Ha! Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, hey, hey. All right, before we leave, we just want to make sure we're connecting with you. And we want to make sure that if you can hear this, but you ought to turn it up for one thing, right? And we want you to just dance right now like there may be no tomorrow. This is it, right now. This is your moment. Dance like nobody's watching, because likely they're not. All right. Feel it. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Dance, jump on it. If you say, then flaunt it. If you freak it, then own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you say, then flaunt it. Well, it's Saturday night, we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 hey. Uptown funk you up. 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 Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, JP. John Palminteri, give the guy some love.
And thank you to Area 51 and Old Spanish Days and the entire crew from TV Santa Barbara who have been behind the cameras and doing all the technical work, and the entire crew for putting this on the World Wide Web. Our apologies to Jimmy and Steven and Conan and all the late night shows. We got it going in Santa Barbara tonight. This is one late night show that we'd like to keep on going. It'll be going every Friday night through Fiesta in August. Thanks for joining us on the World Wide Web. I'm John Palminteri, and on behalf of Old Spanish Days in Santa Barbara, California, we're doing it virtually this year, but get on your calendar for next year, cross off those dates, and come to Santa Barbara for Old Spanish Days. Good night, everybody.